Hello guys, welcome to Stock Shala. This is our first video, and here let us talk about a simple day strategy using which I made a profit of around 6,925 rupees in a single trade on a capital of around 18,000. So this was a good 30% return on my capital. And how did I do it? Which was the trade that was taken? Which script did I traded? And what was the type of trade? To get the details about all this, let us first dive into the market and let us understand what the market did today and how did it behave. Thinking of the market, the first thing that comes to my mind is Nifty. Nifty is the index of the market which sets the tone of the market. So let us analyze Nifty. How did it do? So here is the Nifty 50 chart. It is the index, not the future, and I've opened it on investing.com. If you could see that Nifty was in a good bull run from quite some time. That is from the mid 2016, I believe, and uh, now after I think somewhere close to September, the beginning of the September, Nifty had started correcting heavily due to various reasons like the global market cues, high crude oil prices, and the non-banking NBFCs and the high yields on the DFHL bonds and all of that. So due to various news factors that have come in, Nifty has gone into a bear mode, and we could also see that Nifty was continuously falling and towards I believe to somewhere uh, towards I think 10th or from 10th or 11th of October, it started retracing because we thought it had bottomed out and it started retracing, but this was just a short covering rally which outlived for a very long time. And on Wednesday, we could see that was a big fall that came in, indicating that the bears were still there in the system and they had the control of the market. Also, when I take a look at these three candles that are there, I could see that this was a nice engulfing candle that had engulfed the previous day's small green candle, indicating that it was a bearish engulfing that has formed, supported by good red volume. So at the end of towards the closing bell of Wednesday, we could see that Nifty had given a good fall and it clearly indicated that it is in no mood to go further up and it is going to go down further. So our stance on Nifty towards the closing bell on Wednesday was negative, and we expected it to go down further. So let us see what it did today. So today, when it opened, let me switch to 15 minutes chart so that it is more easy to understand. So when it opened today, we could see that because of the negative stance and the various other news factors, we could see that Nifty did a gap down opening. And as soon as it gapped down, it tried to fill in the gap and moved sideways and ultimately, fell towards the UK market opening time at around 1 o'clock. And then again retraced back and closed somewhere at around 10,303. Overall, Nifty was is in a bearish mode, but however, today's daily candle that it formed was a spinning top. People who are um, uh, in the market from quite some time and understand candlestick pattern would be able to relate that whenever a spinning top or a doji is found, it completely uh, indicates that there is indecision in the market. And also Nifty is at a great support because we could see from here it had rallied. The short covering rally had happened and also in the past. As of now, it is in the indecision mode because it has given a spinning top on the daily candle, and I believe either in the coming days, Nifty would be either bearish or would remain sideways before it, decides on the next move. But our stance on Nifty will still remain negative, and we'll see what it does on Monday. On the other hand, now going back to the profit that I made, we have at Stockshala, we have a very simple strategy which we use, and this is the strategy that we apply whenever we take trades, and the entry, exit, and the stop loss, everything is based on this strategy. So let us dive into the strategy and understand what the strategy is all about. Okay, So let me just go to my kite. Yeah. So the trade that I took today was in IBUL Housing Finance, and this is the chart of IBUL Housing Finance. So before getting into the details of the trade, let us understand what the Stockshala setup is about. At Stockshala, we believe that trading is purely a mindset game, where you need to have a lot of indicators. You just need to understand very few simple things and need to have the right mindset. If you have that, then you can make money in trading. So open any chart, and the first indicator that I'm going to add here is pivots. So if I'm not sure if many of you are familiar with pivots, but pivot points are nothing but the average price points of a particular script or a stock, and they indicate the strength. So pivot will usually have a pivot point, and the levels or these lines that you see, the black line is called as the pivot point. Anything above the pivot is considered as bullish, and anything below the pivot is considered as bearish. On the other hand, these red lines that you see above the pivots are considered as resistances, whereas these green lines, the one that I'm highlighting, are considered as support. So there's a thumb rule in stock market that you buy at support and sell at resistance. So and on Zerodha, pivots work very beautifully in 15 minutes time frame. So the time frame that we use for our intraday trades is 15 minutes, and one of the indicator is pivot. So you go to studies, search for pivot points and add them without doing any changes. So the next indicator for the setup is volume, the volume chart. Click on volume chart, click on done, and you should see volume plotted here at the bottom of the graph. So these volumes, as you could see, they have some colors, red and green. They will just have two colors, red and green. The red one indicates the bearish volume and the green one indicates the bullish volume. So what are these volumes? These volumes are actually these vertical bars are actually the orders that were executed, total number of orders that were executed, and during that order execution, I mean, if 15 minutes time frame, so in 15 minutes time frame, how many orders were executed and who won that won that time frame? Because at every time frame you will have buyers also buying and sellers also selling, so there'll be a war between them, and whoever wins it, that color would be printed on this vertical bar. So if you have if I see this particular vertical bar, I could see that here the bears have won, here the bulls have won, because it was a green color vertical bar volume. So it completely depends. So what the candle is doing, the candle along with the volume is going to give some details about what is the stock going to do, which side it is going to move. So this is the second indicator that we add in our setup. And third but not is ADX. What happened? ADX didn't turn up. Okay. So the third indicator is ADX. ADX is average directional indicator. So here you just do not do any changes, whatever it is, just click on it and say done. ADX is average directional indicator. It is just an indicator which is going to give you the strength of the direction, but not clearly going to tell you which side it is going to go. So there are these. So this black line that indicate is what you are able to see is the ADX parameter or ADX value. So this is this is going to tell you that what is the strength of that particular move. It could be a positive move or it could be a negative move, whereas these red and green lines, they indicate which is the move that is stronger. So if the ADX, and if you could see here, the red line is on the higher level, whereas the black line is at a level of 57, whereas the green line is at a level of 9.34. So here clearly the red is having heavy weightage, so it is a bearish mode. Okay, and there is also a lot of convergence between these two lines. So ADX will also tell you to determine which side, what is the strength of the move. It could be either uptrend, downtrend, or even sideways. um, Okay, so then after this, so these are the three main parameters. So how do you take trade whenever you enter into a particular stock and you want to take trade? What is the point? What is the entry? How do you enter a particular stock? So here the core concept of Stockshala strategy is price action. So if you know price action and if you simply use these simple indicators, you will be able to mint a lot of money in stock market. So for price action, you should have two thumb rules. One is that whenever a stock is falling, the stock could fall if it is making lower highs and lower lows consecutively. You should be able to see those red bars forming or red candles forming one below the other. Here, just to explain you, you could see this. This is a nice fall because there is this high and low, and then this the next high, which is at a lower level as compared to the previous high, and this low is also at a lower level compared to the previous high. So you should have such sequence of lower highs and lower lows whenever you want to take a short trade. Similarly, when you want to take a long trade, you should have a series of higher highs and higher lows. So if I would want to explain you that, you can take a look at this. It has a nice, there was this high, this low and this high, and then the next high that came was at a higher level compared to the previous one, and the the high that came was at a higher level compared to the previous high, whereas the low that it formed was at a higher level compared to the previous low. So you should have a series of higher highs and higher lows. And when this happens, when there is convergence and volume supported, then you could enter the long trade. So the core concept of the strategy is price action. So if you know price action very well and have these indicators in your at your disposal, then you will be able to take good trades. Okay, so let us now understand. So this is the strategy about Stockshala. This is what we use at Stockshala in all our trades. And there is an intensive filtering technique which is used at Stockshala to filter a particular stock. So based on that, we zero down on IBUL Housing Finance and we took the trade on IBUL Housing Finance future. So all the novice traders who are just starting now, it is very much advisable that please do not go ahead and directly trade in futures, because futures are very volatile and they could erode your capital within a blink of an eye if you do not know what you're doing. Okay, so let me open the IBUL Housing Finance future. Okay, I'm not able to get it. IBUL Housing Finance future. Okay, let me tell you my entry and exit based on IBUL Housing Finance only. So the the entry for my short trade, if you could see today at the opening bell, Housing Finance was weak because it had opened, and it is also because of the stance of Nifty, which was negative and it had fallen. So IBUL Housing Finance also gave this big red candle, and it was doing the price action of lower highs and lower lows. If you could see here, this was the high and low, and the next high and low were at a lower level compared to the previous one. And another important observation about this stock is that it was below the pivot point. As I mentioned earlier, that anything below the pivot point is considered as bearish and above is considered as bullish, provided you have other parameters to gauge and conclude on that. So here we could see that IBUL Housing Finance was actually in a nice bearish mode with a great volume, and we could also see that the ADX was supporting with a 45-degree inclination inching towards higher end, and there was a lot of convergence between the red and green lines. When I say convergence, that it means that they were wide apart from each other. They were, sorry, there was a lot of divergence. When I say divergence, they were diverging from each other. So they were moving apart from each other, and so that indicated yes that it is weak. But however, we did not trade at the second candle because it was at the support, and usually there's a thumb rule that goes that you buy at support and sell at resistance. So you need some great insights in order to understand when you want to take trade, whenever you want to do a sell at support. So you need to have a good amount of bear strength there. So we did not sell it here also, and we could see the third candle formed a small doji, and this was also an indecision indicating that it could go ahead and take the support and go further up. We waited for the next candle, and in the next candle we could see that there was a fall. We missed this trade, and we took our entry somewhere here when it was breaking after this candle. If you could see these three candles, this first, second, and third, these three candles, when it fell, it clearly indicated that the bears are active and they are very strong. And you could see that the volume candle shooting up. See, the height of these volume candles was increasing continuously. This indicated that the bears are very strong in the system and they are in no mood to leave this stock from going up. So based on this, we took a short entry when it got closed below the support S2. When it is below the support S2, it means that it has broken all of them, and we took our entry at 677 and covered it nicely at 663. So what were the other parameters we looked at it? That the volume was supporting, the red volume was increasing. There was a lot of divergence between the ADX, and the ADX was at a steep slope of 45 degrees, continuously going up, giving us indication that it was going to fall. And we covered at 663, and you could see the beauty of our analysis that post 663 it started reversing and went to 706 again, and towards the end of the day it closed somewhere at around 660. So this was our simple trade, using which we took we made profit of around 6,925, and our stop loss was exactly above this support, which is at around 680. So our entry was at around 670, 677, and we had the stop loss of around 680, 81, I believe. So that is close to a 5k risk, sorry, a 2k risk, because the lot size of IBUL Housing Finance is 500 rupees. So with the 2k risk, we got around 6,975, and we had ample amount of opportunities to trade today. But at Stockshala, we believe that discipline is the key for successful trading. So we have our daily targets of 5k a day, and when we meet that target, we stop for the day and we do not trade any further. Um, uh, so that was the simple strategy and the simple trade that we took. So I have given some details on the strategy and the setup that we use. So please let us know what did you think of this videos, and let me know if I should make we should make more such videos, and what are the concepts that you want to learn. I'm just going to give the Telegram channel link in the description below. So please join the Telegram channel and see uh, the calls, the trades that we take, and to learn new stuff. So we are here just to learn, just to impart the learning and the learning that we have had from all the failures that we have seen in stock market. And now I think we are at the breakout. We have consolidated for a very long time, and we have eventually broken out. So we thought we should go ahead and spread this awareness about stock market and encourage people to trade, because there's a lot of howling about stock market that it is gambling, but it is not so. If you know what you're doing, if you have the right mindset and the risk management, then you can easily make money. More than making the money, it is about understanding how to trade and technical analysis about these stocks. So if you want to learn more, or if you have any doubts, please comment on the video. Let us know what you think about the video, and we shall keep posting such more interesting videos on different concepts and trades that we take down the line for you guys. Thank you so much for your valuable time. Please subscribe to the channel, comment on the channel, and join the Telegram channel. The link is in the description below. Bye bye. Happy trading.